Hi Ashish, welcome. It's a pleasure really to share the stage with you. For everyone here who does not maybe know details about Ashish's journey, let me allow you to know a little bit more and dig deeper. Ashish brings in years of experience from the consumer healthcare and overall healthcare industry at large. He is a master's in engineering from IIT Roorkee. So he's got the tech brain and now working deeply on the consumer healthcare side with GSK. So Ashish, welcome.
Thanks a lot, Khushboo. And maybe I will take this introduction and tell to my family that people speak highly of me.
Great. No. So the session is all about, learning from you and learning about data harnessing. So brilliant sessions today. It's really been an amazing day for me personally in Kolkata. I came here a decade back, I think almost, and things have changed for the good. And great to see the energy in Kolkata. I come from Gurgaon, so does Ashish. So we are very fascinated to see, the energy and entrepreneurial spirit of Kolkata today. So just to come back to the topic now, Ashish, the topic we're discussing today really is around data harnessing and how we can use the power of data to create more impact in the world for good. So given your years of experience, Ashish, wanted to first understand from you, how are you today leveraging the power of data harnessing or predictive analytics in your work to bring about a change in consumer healthcare?
Great, fantastic question, Khushboo. And first of all, I would like to understand how many of the people here are from healthcare, pharma, just show of hands. And any people from FMCG or likes of those? Great. Manufacturing? Great. So just trying to understand people. First of all, just a question to every one of you. That are you in a position to say that you have the right data all concentrated at a single place? Are you able to say that confidently? Show of hands. See? So that's the challenge, right? That's the biggest challenge which all technology people and everyone is facing. So the first challenge is around that we have to have our data at single place, which is actually the right data, which is not dubious in nature. People are not going to doubt it, right? The second is about how you derive meaningful thing out of it, the action-oriented outcomes. And that is where the consumer healthcare and the likes of many organizations like us are helping people. I will just quote an example that there are people who go into fields and they actually make those meaningful conversations with people. They tell people about products. I'm from healthcare, right? A person is going to the market telling people about that, what the product is and how best it can be leveraged. If that person knows that what kind of value proposition the other side of the table is looking for, they will be able to make it more meaningful. And if I speak about these people, I'm typically speaking about our sales rep, the experts who actually visit doctors, HCP, right? Now, doctors are pretty busy people. And I can say that personally because my wife is a doctor. She's always busy. So these people, you get 2 minutes of time. If you are not armed with the right kind of data, if you are not armed with the right kind of thing, then how you are going to make it meaningful? And that is where I see that role of predictive analytics. The role that what kind of my throughput is happening, what kind of things my HCP healthcare practitioners are looking for, and what kind of thing I'm going to discuss about with you around this. So that makes it more meaningful.
Great, thank you so much, Ashish. So just to put more context to how Ashish applies this, he is heading brands which all of us use in our households at GSK, be it Crocin, Sensodyne, Iodex. So I think you can relate to a lot of this. And there is a reason why he's been able to apply a consumer need into a product, because he's actually looked at data and the problem sets of users and how they can be solved with the products that, Ashish's team brings to market. So that brings me to the next leg of the conversation, Ashish, and a little bit personal to me. So at Xyla Health, we enable better health outcomes for people. And our motto in life is to help people in the most personalized way, hold their hand, improve their health. And you have done that wonderfully with these consumer health products, right? And given people the power with these products that was never seen before. So how do you actually also use data? One is, you are able to capture high quality data from various sources. Also want to understand how do you convert these into insights which tell you what the user needs, not just what the user will buy.
Another fantastic question, Khushboo. So I will start from one of the experience which I had. How many people, again, show of hands, right? How many people have dry mouth? You feel dryness in mouth? Show of hands? Do you know that it's a condition? It's actually a condition that there is dryness in mouth. And any idea, when do you feel it most? When in the entire 24 hours of the day, when do you feel most?
When you're sleeping, maybe.
See? So when you're sleeping and you get up at night, at that time you think that, oh my God, there's so much dryness in mouth, and maybe you will have some water, right? And you will go back to sleep, and it disturbs sleeps also because there's so much dryness. And first of all, people are not aware that it's a condition. So there are people who at night time search online dryness in mouth. These are the people who have actually condition. And there are products available in market, and you can directly reach to these people and tell them that there's something, it is a condition, and you can get help. I'll speak about one of our brands, Sensodyne. Sensitivity was a problem with which people were living for ages, right? But the first thing which came about was the brand awareness. You don't have to live through the pain. There are ways where you can get help. And that is how you actually trap the people. You try to understand their psyche. You say that there are things available. And this data, when it comes alive, it actually brings value for our people. I believe the entire industry here is to help people to make a difference in their life, live better, young.
How many people here have used products that Ashish's team has brought to life? I think most of us, right? Crocin, Sensodyne, Iodex. Great. Thank you so much for that, Ashish. Now, Ashish, with your years of experience, you've worked at Abbott, you've done consulting, you've worked in India, US for decades, right? Wanted to understand the difference you've seen in the quality of data, applicability of data, big data in the US versus India, and how is India evolving in this journey?
It's a gap, first of all. Let's admit it, there is a gap. There is a definite strategy and roadmap, if I speak about US. Also the e-commerce segmentation. If I speak about most of organizations which are here, how many have D2C? Again, show of hands. And D2C is that you are directly selling to consumer, not through Amazon or anything. Good. So 3 people, right? 3 people in this room. And if I speak about US, almost everyone is in the D2C space, some way or other, right? If I try to understand about CDP is consumer data platform. Anyone here has CDP, consumer data platform? Show of hands again. This speaks volume about. This tells that we are not there at all. And when you have CDP in your organization, then actually you are able to understand that what kind of consumers and customers are actually looking through your product. You are going to have the right kind of profile, right kind of attribution, and then you are going to tell them that what kind of things they should be looking for, right? So that is where I see that there is a huge difference, where US is doing a very right kind of personalized advertising, and in that space, we have yet to evolve. But saying that, our digital industry has taken leaps and bounds, and especially during COVID period, it has become the mainstream pretty much. What I still see here, that we are doing work in a very operational way, transactional way. We are not having the roadmaps for 2 or 3 years that where we want to be. And that is with most of the industry, most of the sectors. And this is where we have to actually think it through and deploy it.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashish. So, Ashish, now that you've been championing all of this data harnessing and using it in a way that helps end customer and consumer in consumer healthcare, I wanted to understand from you, what are the sources of data that is really working in consumer healthcare? How are you using technology in marketing to your advantage to show the user what they really need?
So again, you will be like that this person keeps asking show of hands. Secondary sales, primary sales, everyone is aware. I'm assuming it, right? So secondary sales, primary sales is when you are doing it to directly distributor. Secondary is when it is going below distributor, actually reaching to consumer and pupil, right? Now, your product is in the market. There is entire sales ecosystem where you are actually understanding what is going to happen. If I see a problem, I want to know beforehand. I don't want to be reactive. I want to understand that how my next month is going to look like. And you know what? The appetite is more. Slowly, I want to understand what my next week is going to look like. And there is further more appetite. I want to know what is going to happen tomorrow. And that is what, when you arm your sales team with, that this is how the market is going to look like. If you don't take the corrective actions, then this is what is going to happen. And that is the wealth of data. Second is around a sector which is very difficult to tap. It is about the whole marketing ecosystem. Again, show of hands. How many people have centralized media data and the digital marketing data at one place, which they can say is true? Any show of hands? Media data? The question is that if you have data centralized, your entire marketing, media data, and digital marketing data, you have that? Great. Any other person? And I will ask to you again, how easy it was to get that data? So I think digital data is with you. You are doing media advertising as well. Media advertising data is also with you. The BARC data which you get. When I'm saying media, it means pure TV.
Not everyone's running TV ads, Ashish. Yet.
Okay.
Don't have budgets.
No worries, no worries. So it's a challenge. This entire thing is driven by agency. And to get this data, make it meaningful. So if you are going to see an advertisement on TV, how do I know that actually it is leading to conversion? How do I get to know? No one knows it. That's the problem.
Ashish knows it. Let's ask him the secret. What's the secret, Ashish?
Actually, we still don't know, Khushboo. That is the challenge. But I definitely know that we will be there. So the first step is that to break this code, to get this entire thing. And second step is that how it is actually eventually coupling with the sales. And the third step is that the efforts which my experts are spending in market, how it is culminating into this. Fourth is about merging the experts' potential and backing it up with right kind of media and digital advertising. So those are the factors that it's not an easy journey. To just do this, it took us, I believe, 9 months or 10 months. And if there is not right kind of backing by leadership, by right kind of stakeholders, organization won't be able to do that.
Great. No, I think it's a massive exercise in such a large enterprise to be doing what you're doing, Ashish. And I think personally what I have learned is to know what questions I'm trying to first answer through the data. Then to know where I can get that data and ensure there is high quality data. And that's what Ashish is doing at such a large enterprise which is extremely regulated and extremely controlled. So are there applications of compliances that come into play, Ashish, that you would like to highlight in any way that the audience should know when they're using data and they're doing data harnessing for sales, marketing, distribution, product development, or any other thing? What are the applications of data privacy or compliances that one should take care of?
The data privacy bill, it didn't went through. So the patient data is very sensitive, and I believe that most of the people in this room and in industry are not keeping it. In India, it is pretty much mandated. There are certain guidelines around consumer data, and that is something which I believe we all have to follow. The first is about consent. Whenever we are speaking about data, not even consent. Before consent, we try to understand what kind of data it is. It is PII, it is sensitive, it is proprietary, or it is public. That is something, the classification of data you have to put in place. Second step is that you have to take consent, that this data I'm going to use for this purpose. So for example, I'm doing a study on consumers, and I'm saying that I'm just collecting your data. I'm supposed to do it for that study only. Once that study is over, once that thing is done, I should logically destroy that data. So destruction of data is also a process which people often forget. They have collected it, they have stored it, but they are not destructing it. And that is something which, as a practice, we all have to follow. And in fact, there are systems around it that by this date, this time, data won't be there.
Great. I think India is taking the right step in terms of data privacy laws. Globally, we have seen their policies like HIPAA and GDPR that are very prevalent in the US and UK, a lot of which healthcare platforms even in India are adapting now. Very crucial as we move ahead and use data more and more to our advantage. I'll now open the floor to any questions that we have for Ashish. Any questions on data harnessing and use of data across processes? Please. Can we give the gentleman a mic, please?
Hello, hello. Okay. So when it comes to media data, how can you understand this media data and how does it work? For example, you were saying in digital data and the media data, and you were understanding the consumer behavior. But in terms of media data, how you segregate the consumer behavior from the digital data?
This is what actually everyone is trying to resolve, I will tell you. In terms of advertising, when you are doing some campaigns on TV, you don't know that the results are going to be immediate, right? Maybe some advert which you have seen today, you are going to act on it after 3 months. So there is a time dependency lag also on it. So the general way, the generalistic way is to build your model around it. And I'll tell you how we are thinking to do that modeling. We are thinking that, first of all, if I'm running campaigns, the media campaigns, there is a GRP around it. You must be hearing that rating points, right? That how much GRP has been run. So you run GRPs on different channels. Second is around that you are putting spends also. So I will be spending maybe more on Star Sports during IPL as compared to Star Sports normally. I will be collaborating that sales during IPL against the normal season, and I will be putting factor around GRP that how efficient my GRP has been. And I can also compare it to different channels also. That way I will get to see that, okay, this channel is being watched more. This channel is actually giving me better GRP efficiency. And that's how I will be doing my ROI calculation, that where I am getting bang for the buck. And second piece is around that I want to also actuate my sales force around this. Where things are working fine, they should be doing the similar things in the market with people. So that's how you can club those digital world and the real world. Was I able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer? Okay.
I got your point. And the second question was like advertising in media space and digital space is like very different. So one is like performance marketing, one is like branding ads. So what do you think is the future of this media ads? Because people have more control over digital advertising space nowadays, right? Because they are getting the data easily. So what do you think is the future of this branding ads and how branding ads is going to influence the digital marketing? Because digital marketing mostly they run conversion ads and all this stuff. So like this is one question that I'm trying to figure it out since last few days. So
You remember I asked that how many have D2C? A very few have D2C. Now, in digital, in India, right now, if you are doing digital advertising, then you can only attribute it to Amazon. So if you are doing digital advertising, if a conversion is happening, you can measure it only on Amazon, and then there are a few other players, but you cannot do it universally everywhere. Second, around the media advertising, there are organizations which are taking calls that in a particular region, I will minimize my media advertising. I'll be doing sharp shooting around digital because I will be able to make better cohorts. I will be able to understand what kind of audience are looking through my ads. I will be also able to measure if it is landing into purchase or not, right? So organizations are doing that. They are taking conscious effort. I know a few organizations who have taken a step that in this particular state for this month, I'm not going to run any media campaigns. I'm going to do purely digital and that's it. And digital also, you are going to do different things, YouTube, Twitter, Insta. Again, you have to categorize that which is going to give you better ROI. But you should know that how to calculate that ROI. Those are the things which we have to figure out, everyone, all of us.
yeah, thank you, thank
I
you.
think Ashish has championed through these years, how to make agencies even more accountable to show that ROI, show that data, and not just, throw money on the table in name of marketing. So that's very commendable because very few companies are able to leverage that power of data that goes out on TV, for example, right? Getting ROI from TV is rarely heard of. Any other questions we have from
Yeah,
Ashish?
the last question, please.
Yeah.
The people are fed up.
No, they all need coffee basically. Please.
Personal data protection, the rule which Indian government was coming up with. Now we were integrating third-party data with our data.
Your voice is not coming very clear.
Social media data, etc., sort of data.
See, I see awareness is a big challenge, right? If I, in India, data is like pretty much available. People are ready to give their Aadhaar, people are ready to give their PAN, anywhere, everywhere. So, first of all, that data awareness has to be brought in. Second is about the consent. If you have consented for it, for the use which is clearly mentioned, in last 1.5 or 2 years, because of GDPR and the regulations which has come in Europe and US, you will start, in every website, you have started seeing that you want to accept all cookies or not. So cookie-less world is where we are evolving to. So I see that the proper consent mechanism, then why not? It entirely depends on the consent mechanism. And second is around what kind of regulations are going to be around data that where it has to be stored. For example, in BFSI, the regulation is that you have to store it in India. For the rest of the organizations, it's still not there. But I think inroads are towards that way. And there will be certain protocols and I believe that all should follow it as well.
Thank you so much.
Great. I would just like to end this by, giving one of the new innovations back to the audience here. So there's some great application of data that are happening post-COVID. So Google DeepMind has come up with this entire project of AlphaFold, where AlphaFold can basically predict how protein present inside the human beings are folding and how they can fold to predict future diseases and predict their vaccinations and drugs in advance. So they're great applications of data. Some of them Ashish highlighted. And while we remain in the contours of data privacy, follow those laws, we can actually save the world in a better way. So thanks for the time today. Thank you, Ashish.
Thanks,
for your
Khushboo. You have been
company.
wonderful.
My
Thanks for having me
pleasure.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ashish. Thank you, Khushboo.